I'm going to introduce everybody, so maybe, when I say your name, you can wave your hand. Hi, Ann.
Lynn, are you introducing in between everyone who speaks, or do you want?
No, I think we'll do it first because then I'm going to put up the PowerPoint.
So just speak when it's our turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are live.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Linda Gata. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Stratford Public Schools. We welcome you to the kindergarten information presentation, and we're very excited to welcome your new students, our new students, your children, to Stratford Public Schools. I think we figured out that this is the class of 2035, so we're very excited about that and always looking to the future. I'd like to make some quick introductions so that you can see the people who will be presenting tonight. We have a PowerPoint and they will speak to their slides, so you may or may not get a chance to actually get a visual of them until we get to the Q&A part of the session. So I'm going to go across my screen and introduce people as they are here. So Debbie McKay, if you can say hello, then they'll get a chance to. Debbie is the secretary here in my office and person who knows an awful lot about registration. So if you have questions, you're going to get her contact information. Next to Debbie is Victoria Pillow, who is a Stratford kindergarten teacher. She's going to share a little bit with you about the important, and show you a little bit about what the important day will look like for your child beginning kindergarten. Next, I have Diana Diorio, who is the principal of Nichols Elementary School. And Diana will be speaking and sharing with you some information about, as your child is getting ready for kindergarten, some things that may you can do at home to prepare your child for school. Next is Denise Massari, who is the coordinator in our district for World Language, ESOL, and the Dual Language Program. So Denise is going to speak to you for a few minutes about the Dual Language Program in Stratford. Then we have Ann Larson, who is the nurse at the Vicky Soto School. Ann's going to speak a little bit about some of the paperwork and information that we need as a school district to prepare for your child so that we make sure we have all the information we need. Next is Raylene Cruz. Raylene assists with registration, so we're thrilled to have Raylene here to just explain a little bit about how things work and the process that you'll follow to register your child. Next is Sam Rosenberg. Sam is our pre-K6 STEM coordinator. And Sam is working with our teachers. She works with our math coaches and our enrichment program at the elementary level. Kathy Kirtland is next. Kathy is very involved with our preschool programs, specifically the school readiness program. Some of you may recognize Kathy or had some conversation with her. So Kathy helps us with the transition from preschool to kindergarten. Okay, did I get everybody? Did I cover everybody? I think we did. This person who might join us in a little bit is Heather Borges, and she is the Director of Pupil Services. So Heather hopefully will join us in a little bit, but I'm not sure if she'll be with us. We'll manage to move ahead anyway. So I'd like to start by sharing my screen. Let's see where we are here. All right. So we're presenting this information in cooperation with Stratford School Readiness and the Child Care Advisory Council. You know, Stratford is very lucky to have some very, very supportive community partnerships. And at the end of this presentation, we will share some of their contact information and some flyers of information that you can look at or look forward to when your child enters the Stratford Public Schools. There's information about preschool, before school and after school childcare and other activities that your child may become involved in. So we want to make sure you get that information. In the past, when we did this presentation in person, we would have representatives from each of those partners who could come and answer questions for you. But we'll give you their contact information, and we highly encourage you to get in touch with them. Okay. So I wanted to explain that we will have a Q&A time at the end, questions and answers. And if you have a question as we are going through our presentation, there is an email here, kinfo@stratk12.org, that you can email during the presentation. You can send your question by email to this email, and Debbie McKay will pick it up, and when we have question and answer, we'll do our best to get all of those questions out there and see if some members of our panel can help you out. And I'm going to stop for a minute so that Denise Massari can repeat something similar to what I said.
Muy buenas noches. Si ustedes tienen cualquier pregunta, pueden enviarnos a la dirección que se ve en esta diapositiva. Y vamos a platicar un poquito más al final de la presentación.
Thank you, Denise. Okay, so the agenda that we have for this evening is to speak a little bit about the registration process, show you some links that you can use, because most of the process, if not all of it, is online. So this is something that you can do quickly, but if you have any questions, there will be people who will be able to assist you. Health and safety as your child comes into school, as I mentioned, the dual language program, what kindergarten will look like, what students will do, and getting ready for kindergarten. And then we'll have our question and answer period. Okay? So, what I'd like to do is to start off with Raylene.
Hi everyone. So as Linda mentioned, a lot of the registration process is done online. So for all new kindergartners, you can go to our website, stratfordk12.org. Once you get to our website, you're going to go ahead and go to the district info tab that's there. Under district info, you're going to click on kindergarten information. And that will then direct you to our kindergarten information site. For registering your kid, you'll go ahead and click on the 22-23 kindergarten registration link at the bottom. And that'll link you to our pre-registration form, so you can go ahead and enter all the basic information for your student. If you or somebody you know will benefit from having this form instead in Spanish, the little globe that's in the top right corner, you can go ahead and click on that and then switch the language to Spanish. And that'll go ahead and bring this form up in Spanish instead. Once this form is filled out and submitted to us, we will then go ahead and review this and make any corrections if you maybe spelled Stratford wrong or something like that. We'll go ahead and approve it, and you'll then receive a follow-up email to go ahead and link your student account to your parent portal account. So once that's done and you've linked your parent portal, you can go ahead and upload all the required documents that we ask that you submit for registration, and then we'll go ahead and review it and approve it. If we're missing anything, we will contact you guys directly.
Okay. Thanks, Raylene. So as you can see, there are links here as well, so that you can put in information that we need and then submit it. Don't forget to click over here on the submit button. Okay. What I need to do is go back. Okay. Am I sharing? Deb, am Am I sharing?
No, you're sharing the Zoom meeting again. We have to go back
Okay.
to the presentation.
I'm sorry, let me just get out of this for a minute. No. Okay. So you see Raylene's information. We will take the links that are part of this presentation and we're going to show you where we're going to place them so you can go back for further information. So if you need to ask Raylene a question, you can email her or you can use this phone number. Okay? Okay, so the registration timeline, we begin in February and go through till March. The school placements, we hope to have notifying parents by May. And then information about classroom visits and the orientation will be sent out by your child's school. There is a profile that Stratford preschools, both those preschools that are in part of the school district as well as the private preschools, there is a profile called Bridge to Kindergarten that has information that you can provide to the kindergarten teacher about your child. So you'll hear a little bit more about that if you have a child who's in preschool in Stratford, whether a private preschool or a preschool that's affiliated or associated with the public schools. So again, we begin in February, so you should sign on, get your log on to PowerSchool as soon as possible, and this process continues through March. And again, we're looking at May to let you know what school your child will attend. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Ann Larson, who is our nurse.
Hi and welcome everybody. So just a few things about the medical portion of kindergarten registration. All the forms are available for download on the Stratford Board of Ed website. You look under families, then under health requirements. Under that you will find the health assessment record, which is a form that you bring to the doctor. You would need to fill out the front of that form and sign the bottom, and then the doctor will do the physical part and attach the immunization record, and that will be scanned in as part of registration. Also, the kindergarten health history form, which has a little more detail than the front page of the health assessment record. And all these forms, like I said, would be scanned in for registration. And then if you need medication in school, there's also an authorization for administration of medication. And that is also filled out by the doctor, signed by the parent. You can hang on to that until you actually go to school and bring the medication and hand it to your school nurse when they start. You will also find under that area the state immunization requirements, which are the usual childhood vaccines, the measles, mumps, polio, that kind of stuff. While we encourage them, the flu vaccine is not required for kindergarten, and the COVID vaccinations are not required for kindergarten. Again, we encourage them, but it's not required. As of now, and please remember, there's no religious exemption for vaccination. That was a new state law that started last April. In the past, we used to have, when we had in-person registration, the nurse would be able to go over your child's immunization record and let you know if anything was missing. Since this is online, I would encourage you to call your pediatrician and just ask if any of their shots are missing, as your child needs to have all the vaccinations up to date to start school. A lot of times, doctors do wait until a child is 4 years old to give the last tetanus and polio, or the measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox vaccine. So you can actually call your doctor, even if the physical is not needed till the fall, you can call your doctor and say, I need some extra shots, can we just come in and get them? And they will give them to you, so that way your child will be up to date with their immunizations when they come to school, and then you just have the physical done when the time comes, and then you just bring it to school. If you do not have an up-to-date physical or a current physical when you do registration, put in whatever you have. At least we can start with something. And then if your child attends daycare, you can actually ask for a copy of that for them and scan that in. We've done that in the past. All medications need an authorization form if they're given by school staff, and that includes things like cough drops. So don't send anything like that to school unless there's a form. All the elementary schools are peanut and nut free. When you send snacks in, please look at the ingredient lists on anything you send to school and avoid anything that might contain peanuts or nuts. Last are the masks. Masks are worn in the buildings right now. Most of the kids do very well with them, even our preschoolers. If your child is not used to wearing a mask, I would suggest just start practicing with them and remind them to keep it up over their nose. It always helps if the mask has a nose wire that can be bent around the nose to help keep their mask up. If you have any specific concerns, once you have your school assignment, you most definitely can call your school nurse and you can talk with them about what you need to expect for your specific child when they're going to that particular school. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ann. If there are any questions, remember, you can put them send an email to the email address that we had at the front, kinfo, K-I-N-F-O, at stratk12.org. So if you have any questions that maybe Ann Larson, our nurse, can answer for you, please send them along. And next is the dual language program. And I'm going to ask
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Gata. Just to let everyone know, there will actually be 2 sessions that go into more depth. Tonight is just an overview, and at the end of my presentation with you, you will get the information and the dates and the procedures that you will need to follow in order to participate in those sessions. Dual language program is currently K through 4. We will be K through 5 next year, and the goal of the program, as it states, is really to develop bilingualism and biliteracy. That means being able to speak and read in both English and Spanish, and to be culturally competent in both the American English culture as well as cultures from the various Spanish-speaking countries. We hold 2 classes for kindergarten. We call what's the Spanish seats and the English seats. They are particularly interesting because every year we have siblings, and so I don't know currently what that enrollment number is going to look like, but when we have our presentations, I will be able to give you more. The program is a half-day English, half-day Spanish, and we are learning, and I asked for same curriculum plus as all kindergarten classes. So we do follow the same curriculum, but there is additional material because we need to teach the students the Spanish language. So whatever we are teaching them in English, they will also be learning in Spanish. So that's actually double, if you will. And the content is taught in both languages. As I said, half of the day will be spent in English, the other half will be spent in Spanish. The program will be K-6 if all goes well. I hope it goes a little bit higher than that, but let's see how that goes. But the plan is for K-6 at the very least. And the lottery will be held April 13th, and that will be held virtually at 6:30 p.m. Again, I will share more information with you about that when we have our virtual sessions, which, if I believe the next slide, tells you that our next virtual sessions, February 9th and the 23rd, 6:30 p.m. I will not be posting that. There will be a process that goes along with that. If you are interested in hearing more about the dual language program, the session is mandatory. In order to be eligible for the lottery, you must attend one of these 2 sessions. And the way that you would do that is to complete the kindergarten registration and enrollment express, the way that Raylene showed you earlier. And if you take a look here at the slide, you will not right away see the question about your child's preference. You click on the entry year in order to see the choices. If you select dual language program or I am interested in both, that will generate an invitation to you for either one of those dates, and we will be confirming your attendance for either the 9th or the 23rd. I don't believe that I have left anything out. Please feel free to send me any questions, but as I said, we will have our own separate presentation because we feel it's truly important for you to understand what the program is about and to get a good look at what our students are doing and are capable of doing and what we hope that they will accomplish with us.
Thanks, Denise. Okay, so welcome to kindergarten. And who better to tell us about kindergarten and what it will look like than a kindergarten teacher? So I want to introduce Ms. Pillow, and maybe she'd like to say a few words before I click on her video.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Pillow, and I'm a kindergarten teacher at Nichols School. I've been with Stratford School District for 14 years, and I'm not sure who's more excited about the new year coming up, the teachers or your children. We love the beginning of the school year, as crazy and as hectic as it can be, but we are here for you and your child every step of the way, and just know that they're in great hands, and we will take care of them and teach them as best as we can for you. And the video you're going to
I think we may have...
is of actually my old classroom video from Bridgeship, and then all the pictures in the next slide will be of my new classroom in Nichols, so you get to see 2 different schools.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, kindergarten friends. Mrs. Pillow here. Welcome to Bridgeship Kindergarten. I just wanted to send you a quick message saying hi, and I'm sure some of you are super excited, some of you are nervous, but have no worries. I'm ready for you. I can't wait to meet you, and we're ready for some super duper kindergarten fun. You want to come take a look at a room? Everyone's going to have their own table area, your own supply box, all of your goodies in it that we're going to go through on the first day of school. And then if you just look around, this is going to be your kindergarten classroom, friends. So much fun, so much to do, and I cannot wait to meet you next week. Bye, friends.
Okay.
So, as you can see, even in these times of COVID, we are making sure we stay socially distant. Some schools have tables, some schools have desks, so it depends on what can fit best. At Nichols, we have tables with 3 students to 1, and we have sometimes at our tables, but we are always learning safely, and that's what's most important. You can go to the next slide. We do have our mask breaks as well. We have 2 mask breaks a day, and we still have fun even in these times. Kindergarten always goes to a pumpkin farm, and how can you not pick a pumpkin when you're in kindergarten? So we bring the pumpkin patch to the kindergartenians, real world things. These real world experiences are very important for them. It also helps them create background knowledge for vocabulary. It extends our science and social studies curriculums, and it gives them something concrete and actual that they shared with all of us to write during our writer's workshop. So you can see there's some pictures of my friends this year at recess on our new playground at Nichols, and on the carpet on the first day of school, all getting to know one another. These are sample schedules. Each school is going to vary a little bit depending on the teacher and when their specialist activity is and when their learning are a typical day in my class, but know that there's lots of movement. There's lots of play and lots of fun mixed in with all of the learning. Yep. And now we're going to talk about what they actually are going to be learning. So kindergartners learn many different ways. They're learning by play, they're learning in whole group, they're learning in small group, they're learning from each other and from teachers. And these are just some sample pictures of students at centers, reading with partners and doing their math centers. So it's not always teacher-led instruction. They actually get up and move, and there's a lot of incorporation of different manipulatives and play throughout the day. Here, when we're focusing on literacy, we do use the Columbia Teachers College program, and they're exposed to many different types of books, fiction, nonfiction, lots of different practice. There's words on, we work in whole group instantly and move them from there. So if your child's coming in as a reader, we're going to grow them, and I'm sorry, it seems unstable, from where they are. And if your child's just learning their letters, we're going to make sure that they master those letters and start to become a reader. So wherever they come in is where we're going to take them from and grow them from there. And during math, it's the same thing. Whole group, small group instruction is really big across the board in all learning areas. We also always start our math off with Number Corner, and Number Corner is something new this year, and it is an all-encompassing program that focuses on topics each month. It's an amazing routine. It changes every month, and it covers many, many different topics that keep looping, so we're not forgetting information. And we also have science and social studies. These are my kids watching a virtual field trip with the Connecticut Audubon Society. So again, we're learning through experience, we're learning through manipulative, and we're learning through books as well across the board, even in social studies.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Pila. We really appreciate you being here with us tonight. I think Diana Diorio is next up, the principal of Nichols School.
Hi everyone, welcome. Whether this is your child's first, last, or somewhere in between, it will be a smooth and a wonderful experience for your child. It sets the stage for the rest of his or her education, so kindergarten is very important. It is very hands-on. They do lots of exploration and use language to develop social and academic skills. There are a wide range of learners from no schooling to all-day preschool. So very explicit teaching is done while differentiating for the different needs of your individual child. Stratford has a rigorous academic program. So there are ways that you as caregivers can better prepare your child for a richer experience. So on this slide, it discusses some of the math activities. Children learn math by doing lots of hands-on activities. You can prepare your child every day by finding math in everything that they do. You can practice counting, count objects such as M&Ms, paper clips, pennies. You can count by 5s, by 10s, and so on. You can point out numbers and shapes that you see around the neighborhood, in the house. You can point out patterns to them. Play math games, draw numbers with your children, sing songs with math in them, like 1, 2, buckle my shoe. And you can find rhymes and count rhythms with your children. All of those are ways that you can help prepare your children for numeracy in kindergarten. The next slide discusses literacy. So for literacy, you want to prepare your children by developing language. The best way to do that is to read. Can't tell you enough. Reading is so important. It builds their language. You can point out words to them and talk about the meaning of the words. They need to hear language in everything that they do. So if it's a sophisticated word or language that you hear throughout the day in front of your child, don't hesitate to explain what it means. Sing lots of favorite nursery rhymes. That's always a good way to prepare your children for kindergarten. You can draw pictures with your children, label their pictures, label your picture that you're drawing with them with the objects. And in all of the subjects, we encourage outdoor play. Outdoor play is very beneficial to help with gross motor skills, which helps in all of the academic areas. To prepare your children, the next slide talks a little bit about science. Science readiness starts with exploration and with inquiry. You want to read a lot of nonfiction books with your children, pick subjects that they're interested in. And you can connect the literature with the scientific discussion by reading science books. Use the terms in everyday life that you see as you're reading books, point it out to them. You can use language like predicting, connecting, designing. That will help your children, prepare them for science. You can introduce them to sophisticated words, like I said before, in everyday activity. Some of the science kindergarten covers is here on this slide. You can see it talks about life science, earth science, and physical space. There's a link that Dr. Gata had said they will tell you how to get to these links, and on the link for the science slide, there's virtual opportunities that covers ways that you can also help to prepare your children for kindergarten. Finally, you want to prepare your children social and emotionally. SEL is taught throughout every subject throughout the day, so that's important to discuss feelings with your children, try not to minimize it, label their feelings, and talk to them about how to handle their feelings appropriately. But like I said, social and emotional skills is taught in all of the different academic areas. So hopefully that's some suggestions for you to prepare your child for kindergarten. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. I think it is important, I went to the next slide, but your comments about social emotional learning, understanding our feelings and our emotions, learning how to interact with others, that's a big part of what kindergarten has always been about. But in Stratford, we pay very particular attention to that and allow time during the school day for discussions about that during, for example, morning meeting and that. Stratford uses the ruler program, and when your children start school, you'll learn a little bit more about that. I do want to take a minute to ask Samantha Rosenberg if she would like to comment a little bit. I'm going to back up a little bit to the math. Oh dear. Math activities, and I can probably click here, Sam, if you want to just say a few words about the activities that you've identified here.
Sure. One of the programs that we have is ST Math, and I'm actually hanging out with our math mascot tonight. But this link here, the attachment via the link, provides you with various activities, like Mr. Oreo said. You have to do math and experience it. So these are just some game ideas and various activities that you can find materials throughout the house, like she had made mention. But we are really excited for you to eventually meet Gigi. So I'm just going to leave Gigi right here, but you'll have a live and in-person experience with Gigi when you get here in the new school year. But definitely peruse through, because there's so much fun to be had even before you come into kindergarten with math.
So I'm going to also, would you like me to click on one of these? Which one would you like?
You can definitely click on the virtual tour. I know the state of Connecticut offered a lot of free experiences, and like Ms. Pillow showed, we have a great partnership with the Audubon Society, so they pop in and help us do some virtual labs. But if you want to get ahead and start providing those experiences and stay at the comfort of your own home, these are some really good resources that the state of Connecticut has to offer. And if you want to be in person, they're also free as well. So I really recommend that you take a look at this site. And there's another penguin on the screen. And definitely go through it with your child and use the language, like Ms. Dorio said, as you're experiencing the same things on any of the museum sites and so forth. They do have some free live streams and meet the scientists, so that's always fun to learn, especially now. Kids are really getting into space and exploration. So there's a lot of opportunities there, and that's just one of the links provided to you. But there's many opportunities that are at no cost at all as well.
Great, thank you. And thank you for having Gigi join us tonight.
We're excited to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so as Diana DiOrio mentioned, the resources that we've shown here in the presentation can be found at the link, the Stratford Family Hub. So if you come here, we're going to post. This is a good spot for you to catch up on some of the things that are happening. This is specifically constructed with information that Stratford families may be interested in looking for. So there's the reopening plan, etc. And so some more information. And this is where we plan on putting the link to the information that we're sharing with you this evening. Let's see what we have here, Deb. Okay, so you've seen this link before when Raylene came on. We just wanted you to know that, again, this is where you find the kindergarten registration link. We can't emphasize enough to encourage you to please start the process and start filling out your information. If you look over here, you'll see an informational letter, a little bit about kindergarten registration that was put out in a press release. The dual language program information, etc., our Stratford schools, and the information about immunization that Ann Larson spoke about. So the last part of our presentation is really about some of our family, our community partners. And I think, Kathy Kirkland, were you going to speak a little bit about parents supporting educational excellence?
That would be, I don't know if Sarah North is on. She's in charge of that. Is Sarah
No, she's
here?
she's not here this evening. Right. Deb, were you gonna say something?
Sorry, I was entering an email. No, Sarah was not going to be on tonight. If Linda can speak to it, or if Kathy knows a little bit of the information on it, if she could please do that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, this is certainly a commercial, and any of you who have children at Nichols School, you've probably seen Diana's information that went out on Monday about Parents See. It's a terrific program, specifically geared for parents of elementary students. It's a 13-week leadership program, as you can see here, for parents, grandparents, and foster parents. And there are meetings where people come and present to you. The superintendent will come and speak about the budget. And what it aims to do is to facilitate partnerships within the district and community to address inequities, improve schools, and encourage community engagement. I know it's always kind of fun when the members of Parents See come to the board meeting, so they watch a board meeting, and then afterwards, they're able to ask questions to understand how the board works. And then how they can get involved. And I will say this, that many parents who go through Parents See become more active in the school that their child's attending, but also, show an interest in participating in committees that the school district has, sometimes for strategic planning, sometimes for curriculum, review. So there are a variety of ways. I know Denise Masari has parents on her group and her committees, and the work that Yvonne Temple is doing with our diversity committee. So this particular program is a great introduction to how the district runs, how we partner with the town, and it's just a great way to learn about things. So if you're interested, you'll see that you can contact Sarah North. That's last name, first initial is the way we configure our emails here in Stratford. So it's last name, first initial at stratk12.org. Again, we'll post this so that you have that contact information. Next, Stratford Parents Place. And I think that someone was going to speak a little bit about this. Kathy, can you share any information? Kathy Kirkland?
I thought is Susan here? She was supposed to speak about that? Okay, or Amanda Joy. They're in charge of Stratford Parents Place. I know they have different play groups, and they also are very involved with the family daycare programs in the community. So if families are interested in play groups or need family daycare, they're a great resource for all preschools. They have a list of all the Stratford preschools in the area also. And they have a lot of great programs that they're running, and they also support the Stratford preschool teachers, and they organize some trainings for our preschool teachers. So they're very involved with that also. And they're right in Johnson House, at Stratford County Johnson House. And they're, right now, they were doing some play groups outside, and I think they're hoping to get back to doing play groups within the building again also. And there is information I know on the website, the Stratford Public Schools website, and there's a lot of information there about Stratford Parents Place also.
Thank you, Kathy. In fact, many of those who are on tonight may know Stratford Parents Place because they've been involved with it. So if their child is a preschool child, great work over there. The Stratford Library has information posted. They have just a terrific program for children, very interested and very interesting, and they offer a lot of fun activities. So you certainly can contact them, and we'll have that information up. As you can see, they post a lot of things that are happening there. Our before and after school programs that the Y offers, Sterling House offers. There are a number of organizations that offer before and after school programs. So please take a minute to look at some of these. Our South End Community Center, very active all year long. And so there are activities that also include, many of these programs will include transportation as well. So if you're looking for a before or after school program, you want to find out the details, and speak to somebody, this information will be posted for you. As I mentioned, Sterling House, there's a lot going on there. And the YMCA. Okay, so some of the other partners that we have for transportation, our district has a partnership with Durham School Services, Sodexo Food Services, provides lunches for students, and so if you have a question about that, this information will be posted. The health department, Bernie Bova is the nursing supervisor and can answer questions that you might have in addition to your school nurse. We want to thank Ann Larson for being here, and boy, our nurses have really had quite a few. The last year and a half has been very interesting. Given the pandemic situation, and they have all stepped up and done wonderful things to keep all of our children and our staff safe. So, yeah, big shout out to them. We mentioned this Parents Place, Parent C, the Stratford PTA Council, and the YMCA. Now, if you have questions Readiness for kindergarten, Debbie McKay, as you know, is our secretary. We introduced her at the beginning. So giving our office a call and see, if we can assist you in some way. Raylene Cruz spoke in the very, very beginning about kindergarten registration and school placement. And then we have dual language, Denise Masari, who was, as she mentioned, going to be holding 2 sessions, virtual sessions for information about dual language. If you are interested in the dual language program, you will find out more at those sessions, but you must register and indicate your interest so that you can receive an invitation to those virtual sessions. Really, really important. Okay? So I'm going to stop here, and we're going to, it looks like we have a few questions in the chat.
We do have a few questions. The first one I think Denise could answer is that our oldest son is in the dual language program, 2nd grade. His younger brother will start kindergarten in the fall. Will he be grandfathered into the program?
Yes, all siblings are automatically entered into the program if that is the parent preference. I ask that you would still register your child as everyone else is registering and indicate that there is a sibling in the program, and my secretary or I will be calling to follow up just to confirm that. So yes, automatic. And that's what I had said earlier, so I don't know what the number for the lottery would look like until all of those numbers come in.
Thank you. This next question was, I was informed that since my child is already registered for her preschool, that I wouldn't have to register for kindergarten. Is this true? So yes, that is true. If you're registered for a Stratford preschool program, you are already registered in Power School. The only difference would be if you were interested in the dual language program. I would suggest, I think Denise, we talked about this, just emailing you to say that they're interested. Because they're going to that form again.
If they would need to go through the process just because we don't want to miss anyone, and it's very easy to miss emails that come in from various pre-K, and I believe that we had talked about that being able to be taken care of by using the Power School option. So, unfortunately, they have to register.
No, they can't re-register because they're already registered in Power School.
Well, they'll have to fill out the form, however that is, and I think we talked about that earlier, and we can put out more explicit directions through.
Okay, I think we can explain that when we do the dual language information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can also, I know for our school readiness preschool programs, we give out, even though they're already registered, like you said, in Power School, they'll get a packet from the preschool teacher, and it does have whether they want dual language or not. There's a form in that packet.
Okay.
And then also there's just like they have to update some information, but they are already registered.
Right, yeah.
So can I just clarify one thing though? We keep saying the Stratford preschool program. You have to, if your child is in a preschool program within the Stratford Public Schools, your child is already in our system, okay? But if they're in a private preschool program, and we have several of them in Stratford, they are not in our system, so you do need to go in and fill out. So just there's an important distinction there, okay? So if your child is attending a preschool program at Second Hill Lane, Franklin School, or the Vicky Soto School, then they should already be in our system. But as Kathy Kirkland pointed out, they will get paperwork, or you will get paperwork as parents from their teacher. And that's the paperwork that you'll look for to indicate your interest in the dual language program. If your child is at the private schools, one of the private preschools, you still want to go to the link on our website, fill out the initial information, and on there you'll be able to indicate your choice, and then that gets you into Power School. Okay? Thank you. Go ahead, Deb.
Okay, the next question is, my daughter has a sibling at Johnson House in 2nd grade. When will I know if she will be in the full-day kindergarten class at Victoria Soto and not made to attend another school? I think Raylene or Linda, would you be able to address that?
Yeah, is Raylene still here?
Yeah. So once placement goes out for your student, that's when you know. But if your base school is also Victoria Soto, which is also in the zone for Johnson, then most likely your student will attend Soto. We won't, if your student already has siblings at other schools, we do not try to misplace them into 2 different schools. We do keep it easiest for the parents to go ahead and place at the same school for both students.
We make every effort to do that. Sometimes we're limited by space. Or if the child coming in has a special need and needs to be part of a program that is held in another building, that conversation will take place with the parent. Okay. So for example, if let's use the dual language program. If there's a kindergarten child coming in, then their school will be Vicky Soto, even though it might have, if they're accepted into the program. Otherwise, they might have attended, let's say, Second Hill Lane, because that would have been their school. Okay, Deb?
This is for Annie. My child turns 5 in September. I only have a pre-K doctor yellow paperwork for health. I cannot get the blue student one until after her 5th birthday and the doctor visit. Will you accept this form for health?
Yes, yeah, you can certainly put that one in. Again, though, I would call your doctor and make sure that the immunizations are up to date. Usually after the age of 4, they can finish what they need for kindergarten. But so they might be done already. But I would definitely do that. If your physical is not due until the fall, that's fine. You can turn it in when it's done.
Thank you. This next one is also for you, Annie. If my child has an EpiPen that needs to be in school with them, what is the specific process for this?
Well, again, like I said, you have to have a medical form filled out by the doctor for administration of medication in school. You bring the EpiPen in the first day of school and you give it to your school nurse. Make sure you have the box that has their name on it and the information. Don't just hand us an EpiPen. Give us the box too. And the form that actually, says the doctor says we can give this in school, and then you sign the bottom of that form and date it as well.
Okay, and I believe we've addressed the next question already. They have a child attending Eli Whitney School, and will my incoming kindergartner automatically be enrolled in the same school as my older child? I think, Raylene, you had just spoke about that.
Mm-hmm. Deb, did you miss a question? Did you?
No,
I saw the dual language info sessions were both on Wednesday.
That was kind of specific to Denise, and I emailed her back already on that one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Let's see. Do children go to the bathroom independently as needed, or are there bathroom breaks where the whole class goes at the same time?
I can answer that. I think it depends on the school. Several of the schools have bathrooms within the classroom, so the children can go freely throughout the day. I know if they do not have a bathroom, they can always use it. We try to teach kindergarteners the best time to use it, not during a specific learning time, but emergencies happen. And we will work with them on that throughout the day. I'm not sure whole classes go all together anymore. That would be kind of up to the teacher. But we do teach the children the best times to use the bathroom and things like that. But they do go independently, so teaching and making sure your child has pants on that can go up and down easily. If they don't know how to do a belt, don't put them in a belt. Practice buttons and snaps and everything like that, so they feel comfortable managing their own clothing in the bathroom as well.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, will there be a downloadable version of the presentation that we're using for the meeting that would be helpful to be able to print off the suggestions and slides?
We're going to do our best to make the slides available that have links on them, and we'll put them at the Family Hub. Excuse me. We'll do our best to, either that or reach out to Debbie, and she'll see. She'll see what you can do.
You can email, and we are going to put them on the Family Hub website, which on the Stratford website, when you go under the Families tab, you'll see the Family Hub website there. And we are planning on putting the slides that have links on them posted on there. They're not there right now, but we'll have them up by the end of the week. Another person asked about what after-school programs are available for working parents. They asked that question before we got to that point in the presentation, so we talked about the YMCA and Sterling House, and again, I can post those flyers on the Family Hub website so that people can get the contact information from there. Yanni, this is for you. My question is about COVID-19. Are kids going to be required to have the vaccine?
Well, I think I actually answered that already. COVID vaccines right now are not required for going to school. Who knows? Everything changes, it seems like, every 10 minutes. But as of right now, flu is not required for kindergarten, and COVID vaccines are not required for kindergarten. Things like tetanus, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox, that the standard hepatitis A, hepatitis B, those are the standard ones that, they've been doing for years. Those are what are required for kindergarten.
Okay, our next question is, does the school or do parents provide a snack?
How about Diana DiOrio?
Sure. We do not provide a snack. Parents usually send snack in. However, if there's an emergency, a child's hungry, or it's limited in snacks, there are ways that we will make sure that your child does not go hungry. We also have, Stratford Public Schools have breakfast and lunch opportunities. So more information will come out in the beginning of school. Each building does it slightly different. So once you know what building you're going to, there will be information sessions, and more information will be given out then.
Thank you. Next question is, if my child doesn't get into the dual language program, will they still be able to attend their neighborhood school? Just registration, Raylene?
Yeah, well, I'll just
Linda, yeah.
I'll just emphasize what Raylene said before. It is important to get registered as early as you can. And, sometimes we have difficulty with space in some of our schools, depending upon enrollment in that. Every effort is made to have the child, attend his or her neighborhood school. But sometimes the space is an issue. So we do our best to, place them at a school that's close to where they live. Okay, so, there's transportation considerations and everything else. So there's no guarantee on that, but as I said, we try our very best to make sure that the child attends their neighborhood school.
The next question is, do the elementary schools have dress codes?
Diana.
Certain elementary schools do have a dress code and a dress policy, and again, you'll get that information once you know what building you're going to, but there are several who do not. And I think the ones who do have dress code will give you the color codes and where to purchase the items. More information will be given once you know what school you're going to.
The last question I have here, are waivers being accepted for going to a different school? Our home-based school is located far from our house, or we have two schools located closer to our house.
I think that the first thing that you'll do is when you fill out your form, you're going to select the neighborhood school that you would select. And a question like this, I would suggest that, you reach out to Debbie and she'll find out more information regarding this. At this point, my understanding is that there are no waivers at this point in the school year being given out, and it's uncertain what will happen next year, what the conditions will be next year. So it certainly is important if, you know, there's some information that you want to share. Make sure you contact Debbie. She'll get that information together and then, you know, provide you with some feedback.
And that was the final question.
Okay, I hope that helps. I want to thank everybody who attended this evening, our panel, as well as the parents who came on board. By tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to say, we'll have this information up on the Family Hub so that you can look for links, you can print things out, and you'll have access to information for those who attended or who shared information this evening. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great evening and stay warm. Take care.